A St. Louis Metropolitan Police officer is dead and two fellow officers are under investigation in what the police chief is calling an accidental shooting. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Claire Kellett. Officer Caitlin Alex was off duty when she was shot and killed overnight. Here's what we know at this point. The 24-year-old was a two-year veteran of the force. She was with two 29-year-old male officers at a home in South St. Louis who were on duty at the time. Police say one of them mishandled a gun and shot Alex in the chest. And just within the past hour, we have learned that the Missouri Highway Patrol is helping the prosecutor's office with this investigation. And that investigation happening, of course, as family and friends are mourning the loss of Officer Alex. News 4's Paige Holsey spoke with her mother this afternoon. She begins our team coverage here in the studio. No doubt the mother very emotional and likely still in shock. I mean, you spoke to her just 12 hours after losing her daughter.
Yeah, Claire, obviously this is a devastating time for her family, but they have such great memories that they wanted to share. We really appreciate that. Caitlin Alex was married just 3 months ago. Her siblings and mom call her Katie, and today they shared some of their favorite memories of her with me.
She just made you laugh because she would do things that...
Katie's mom, Amy, had a smile to match her daughter's as she looked through old pictures.
That's Katie. Katie's always happy.
Katie was one of 5 siblings.
Well, Katie didn't have any children, but she loved children. And she just loved spending time with them. I mean, it was amazing to watch her play with kids because she was a big kid herself.
Her family says in October she married another police officer.
To walk her down the aisle was an honor. I knew she was happy, and that's all that mattered.
Katie's mom says her job was a huge part of who she was.
She loved her job. Even on her days off, she would go visit all her friends down there. Because I guess when you're a police officer, you're that close bond with everyone.
But happy memories were broken up with the tragic reality of Katie's passing.
It's hard. It's hard for everybody.
Now they are sharing stories of Katie so people get to know the woman of service they loved and lost.
She tried her best at everything, and she succeeded, and she was good. She was our hero. She was.
Officer Alex went into the police academy in 2016. She graduated in 2017. She was a patrolwoman in the 2nd District. Claire.
Yeah, her family talked about the fact that she always had a smile on her face, and we saw that in so many of her pictures. Her mom mentioned that she was a woman of service.
Yes.
It wasn't just for the people of St. Louis. I mean, she has a military background.
Right, she served our country. So before she was an officer, she was in the Army. And coming up at 5 o'clock, her family will share more about her life of service and the very personal letters that she wrote them during that time.
Anxious to hear what those letters include. Paige, thank you. Today, News 4 has been pressing the St. Louis Police Department to address many of the questions that we have in this tragic case. We know the shooting happened about 1 a.m. on Dover Place in South St. Louis. That's not too far from Carondelet Park. And it happened at the home of one of the officers involved in this. Russell Kinsall has been in contact with investigators all day. He joins us live this afternoon from police headquarters.
Claire, first of all, we learned this afternoon that St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner asked the Missouri State Highway Patrol to assist her agency with their investigation into this shooting. Plus, simultaneously, the police department's own Force Investigative Unit will be conducting an investigation as well.
Just sad. That's just really sad.
People who live on Dover, near the scene of what police are calling an accidental shooting, are mourning the death of Officer Alex. But most said they didn't hear the gunshot or even know what happened till much later.
Only time I was up when the commotion started, like the police and sirens started. That's the only thing that I heard, you know. When they look out the window, they had crime tapes already up.
Police say Alex had gone to visit a fellow officer, a 29-year-old male, at his home on Dover. He was on duty and there with another on-duty officer, also a 29-year-old male. Somehow, one of their weapons accidentally discharged, hitting Alex in the chest, and that's when they called 911.
750 Dover, crossing from Alabama and Colorado, met 156. Over 23 respond. Person down, medic unit en route.
The two male officers didn't wait for an ambulance and drove Officer Alex to St. Louis University Hospital themselves in a police SUV. After arriving at the hospital, she was pronounced dead. Both officers were drug and alcohol tested, and the police department's Force Investigative Unit, which handles all officer-involved shootings, is investigating. Black bunting has been draped from the front of the St. Louis Police Officers Association offices to mourn the death of Officer Alex. Now, while we were in the neighborhood, we talked with a man who lives nearby who said he often spoke with a police officer who lives in the home where the shooting took place, and he said he saw Officer Alex there. You'll hear from him coming up all new on News 4 at 5. Live downtown at police headquarters, Russell Kinsall, News 4.
In honor of Officer Caitlin Alex, the St. Louis Police Department announced today that all of its members will be wearing mourning bands. Police Chief John Caden described Officer Alex as an enthusiastic and energetic young woman with a bright future ahead of her. Be sure to stay with News 4. We, of course, will bring you the latest information as soon as we get it on this story. We will continue to update you right here on the air and on the K-Movie News app.